Hello and welcome to another Cuppa with Kaci. As you may notice, I have a new desk set up. It's very exciting. I've got more space and it's nice and clean and it's lovely. And I'm very excited about that. Also, very excited about this week's video for this month's box. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, as you can see, this is the April box for 2021. And I can see paint, I think. This makes me happy. Okay, let's get this out of the way. We got the zine. We got a pretty picture of some flamingos. I do love a good flamingo by Camilla Gardner. Good job, Camilla Gardner. I'm going to put that over there because it's pretty. Okay, we got some watercolor paper, which leads me to believe we're doing watercolors today. That's exciting. I haven't done painting in a long time. Gee, that's a lie. There's some painting in Sydney, but shh. Okay, this is nice textured paper. It is cold pressed. There's 8 sheets. It's 300 GSM. It's fun. Okay, cool. Got some nice paper. We got the nice zine, which has feathers all over it, which makes me happy. I like birds. For those who don't know, my favourite animal is a bird. It's a peregrine falcon. Looks like we got some paints. So before we look in there at everything we've got, let's open this up. Dun 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 da-da-dum 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 da-da-dum. Oh, the sticker's got feathers on it. I'm pleased about this. Thank you. What was your name? Camilla? Camilla for choosing feathers. I like feathers. Okay, we got a Puds. Rhubarb crumble flavored Puds. I'm ashamed to say I don't know what a Puds is, but it does say it's vegan. So that makes me happy. I'm going to eat that later. I bet it tastes amazing. Okay, we've got a travel watercolor brush. So you fill this with water. You press the button. It's actually got a handy dandy button to press. Button, and it lets water out. I probably won't use that much. It goes a bit against the box, but I like my paintbrushes a bit more than that. But it's handy. We've got 2 pencils, for films, plastics, china, and glass. Ooh. China graph pencils. 1 black and 1 white. Cool. I have to read more about those on the... And then we've got 6 paints. Daler Rowney. Now, if I remember correctly, these are quite expensive paints. I could be wrong, but I'm fairly sure they're quite expensive. We got some raw sienna, we got a Chinese white, Hooker's green dark, and then we've got your primaries. We've got ultramarine blue dark, lemon yellow, and alizarin crimson hue. Oh, that's so pretty. This is going to be fun. Let's get this tissue paper out of the way. Just eat. Okay. We got a nice selection. Now, this makes me happy. Okay, Daler Rowney Aquafine watercolor tubes. They're United Kingdom based, which makes me happy. Go England, yay. Well, I say go UK, not just England. United Kingdom based everywhere. We got the paintbrush. We got the 2 pencils. They will work with virtually any surface, including china, plastics, acetate, film, brick, wood, and glass. By combing specially designed pigments and waxes, they are resistant to water, but you can remove them from non-porous surfaces with a dry cloth or a tissue, making them for an interesting pairing with watercolor paints. So basically I can draw with these, but it's not going to run with the water. It's effectively what it's saying. That's cool. Yeah. And I've got some nice paper and lovely birds of a feather scrawler challenge. That makes me obviously want to draw some birds or an angel or something, a harpy maybe, I don't know. We'll get some sketching in. But before we do any of that, we need to do some swatching. So I need to go get my palette cleaned and my jars of water. So I will be back in just a moment. Okay, so I'm back. I've got my water, I got my tissue paper, paper towel, got my palette, the paints and everything set up. I put water in this thing, even though I'm probably not going to use it that much. I might just use it for the swatching. Yeah, got my paintbrushes all ready over here and the paper. So we'll do some swatching first, and then we'll do some sketching in my sketchbook to try to decide what we're going to do for the illustration. Really bugs me when I don't fold that bit straight. There we go. Okay, let's get my palette over here. Got some paints going on. Let's try out this Derwent paintbrush. You all know how much I love Derwent. Okay, love. Don't know how much pigment to use. You know, not much of a test of the color if I don't go for all the pigment, huh? Okay, ultramarine blue. It's actually a very nice blue. Ooh. Ah. Ooh. My mother would approve. And then we just add a bit more water on me. Nice. I know technically I don't need to use the water pots for this because it is a travel brush, but I never feel like I can get these clean. Okay, blue, yellow. Is that not just a piece of art right there? Do I need to do the rest of the video now? Okay, so that's that. I suppose I could try mixing them. See if we can make a purple. A little bit of blue on my brush. A little bit of scarlet hue. Mix it up. Make a nice purple. Scribbly there. Obviously I didn't put a whole lot of pigment in it, but you know, I've mixed worse purples in my life with watercolor paints. I'm quite happy with that. Just put a bit more pigment on this side. Well, there you go. Shall we try orange next? Might as well. Yellow. Smidge red. Smidgiest a bit more. There we go. Oh, I did a smidgiest too much. More yellow. There we go. Okay, let's see how we do. You know, that's not a bad colour either. I think I'm getting the hang of this colour mix and stuff. Whee! Ooh. Definitely feels waxy. Almost crayon-like, the way that it feels like it's grabbing the paper, and obviously I can't sharpen it to a fine point because it keeps breaking, so it's making it a bit on the tricky side, but we're just using it as a test for the moment. Now I hazard a guess if I use the white one, it's going to make it look like I've almost like I've used masking fluid. So, we got some nice colours going on. Let's get to sketching. I'm getting very close to the end of this sketchbook. And it's kind of sad. I'm like so close to the end now. I'm going to be doing a sketchbook tour probably for next week's video. How crazy is that? Okay. So the prompt is birds of a feather, which implies at least two people. You know, birds of a feather flock together and all that. So I'm thinking I'm going to draw a group of characters. Now, this week I happened to get a couple of goldfish, which I guess I'll put up some pictures on the screen. We've got Blub, Gimpy Fish, and Pablo. Pablo is a Siamese fighting fish, not a goldfish, but we'll get past that anyway. So I wanted to draw them as people because why the hell not? It inspired me. So I think I'll use them for this video. So we got Blub, who is a bobble-eyed goldfish. And the reason I named him Blub is because whenever any of us in my family gets a new pet, my dad insists on naming them Bob. It's just something my dad does, and so I figured I would pay homage to that and name him Blub instead of Bob. So Blub is my bobble-eyed goldfish. He is adorable, and I deliberately picked the one with the most obscenely large eyes and the tiniest body, so it makes his eyes look even bigger. So like he's like this, and his tail is like that. So he's got gigantic eyes and a teeny tiny body. And I think, come here Blub, I'm looking at you. There we go, he does have another set of fins back there. And then Gimpy Fish pays homage to a really bad, like, comic strip I did when I was like 10 about a fish named Gimpy Fish, and I don't have that comic strip anymore, but it always used to make my brothers laugh whenever I mentioned Gimpy Fish, so I thought I had to get the most gimpy looking fish and name it Gimpy Fish in homage to that. So he has this big fat body and these big eyes that sort of look in different directions, and a mouth that's always like, blur, I am Gimpy Fish, blur. So that's Gimpy Fish. Big fat body, teeny tiny head, always open mouth, going blur. And then you got Pablo, who is my Siamese fighting fish. He's my little emo boy. And I only call him that because he's red and his fins are super spiky. And he sort of like avoids the other fish like he's a little emo. So he's my little emo boy. Of course, named after Picasso, little Pablo. Because he looks like, you know, a paint splodge. So that's Pablo. And he's got this little, I think they have sort of like an underbite looking face. Yeah, they do. Underbite. There we go. So we got Blub, Gimpy Fish, and Pablo. Now, we need to humanize these suckers. let's do like some thumbnails. So we'll do like, this is Gimpy Fish. Maybe he's got them both on his shoulders because he's a big strong guy. And he's like, yeah, look what I can do, guys. And Blub's all like, yeah, let's do this. And Pablo's freaking out like, what are you doing? Stop. No, I don't like it. Stop. Put me down, you great lug of muscle. Yeah, I like it. Okay. Let's do it a bit bigger. You know what? I've actually had a better idea. So if we do it like landscape, we can have Gimpy Fish on his shoulders. And Blub's all like, all for it. Like, yeah, let's do this. Woo! Forward. Style, like, woo. Pablo, for some reason, has to go with them. And is like trailing along behind, looking all, I'm an emo boy. But secretly, he does want to be there. Because he likes these two losers that he calls friends. I don't know. I picture they got stuck together for a class project. And, Blub and Gimpy Fish have been childhood friends, so they get along together fine. And then Pablo is like the emo boy, and they don't think he likes him, but seriously, secretly he does, and he's got a crush on Gimpy Fish. Gimpy Fish also has a crush on him, but he doesn't know how to express himself. And there's like this super awkward thing where Gimpy Fish is trying to get Blub to help him express his feelings for Pablo, and Pablo is super gay disaster and does not know how to deal with his feelings. I feel like I need to refine Gimpy's character a bit more. If Pablo here is going to have a crush on him, he needs to be a bit more interesting than just that, in my opinion. So let's make him a bit more interesting to look at. We'll go, let's see, he's always got a really big, wide smile. That can be his always open, fishy mouth. Big, wide smile. Helps if I draw it correctly, though. You know that one earring every kid had in, like, high school? They thought they were so cool. It's like a diamond earring, just on one side. And then they were always worried that they got it on the wrong side. Yeah, that's what he's got. I don't know if it's the right side or the wrong side, but he's got it on his right ear. And he's gonna have a man bun haircut, because that's in, right? So, oh my gosh, he's got my haircut. Oh well, he doesn't have leopard print on the side, and it's not pink at the roots, so it would be fine. Man bun. Big, expressive eyebrows, square jaw, wide neck, wide shoulders. And he's like, super nice jock. Here we go. There's Gimpy Fish. Looks much more interesting now. Okay. So, then we've got our nerd. Good old Blub with his giant glasses, his square haircut. And he's going to be like a science math nerd, I reckon. He always wears this oversized sweater. Because that's fun. I like drawing oversized sweaters. And then we've got Pablo, who I've put him in a hoodie, but should I put him in like a flannel shirt or something? Make him kind of more punky than emo? Tiny little and up on the shoulders. So maybe like Blub's so much smaller because he skipped a few years because he's so smart. So like Gimpy and Pablo are both sort of year 11s, and so Gimpy and Pablo are year 11s, and Blub is like, would be a year 9, but year 11 because he's skipped a few years because he's super smart. That sounds good to me. Now we just gotta draw Pablo. Looking super unimpressed at the back here. Okay. So, now that I've sort of developed characters for them, I can imagine that Pablo is super jealous of Blub because he's so close with Gimpy. And then, so he doesn't really like Blub at all to begin with. But then one day he sees Blub getting picked on. Gimpy's nowhere to be seen because Gimpy's usually with him all the time, so he doesn't get picked on. But no, Gimpy's nowhere to be seen. And Pablo's there. And like, he's gonna go walk past completely and ignore it. And then they push Blub down and take his books off of him or something. And he like jumps in to defend him. And everyone's sort of low-key scared of Pablo. Even though he's never really done anything, he's just intimidating, so they bail. And then from there, Pablo realizes that he actually does like Blub. And they become proper friends. Even though he's still jealous of him, but he puts that aside. And then like Blub's like, I'm not dating Gimpy, what are you talking about? That's just weird, we're like brothers. Or something, I don't know. And then it's like Blub starts working with Pablo to try and get him to express his feelings better. More than just a grunt of approval or disapproval. And he tries to convince Pablo that Gimpy likes him back, but Pablo doesn't believe it because no one's ever liked Pablo for Pablo. Does he have like a little goatee? Do I give him a little... Oh, look how cute he is with the tiny little goatee. Oh, he's got a tiny little goatee. He's so cute. Okay. So these are the boys. I feel like I should have done the whole thing just like a little more over so I could fit that foot in because it feels off center now. I don't know, maybe I should trim the end so it's a square. Either way, we got our picture. It is time to line it. Now, actually, I don't know if I want to before I paint it, just because I felt like even though these are supposed to be resistant to watercolor, it dragged the black a little bit in places. I don't know. I don't know. I could line them with it afterwards. You know what, I'm gonna do it. We're gonna do it. I'll just blow it off before I use it. But I am gonna have to, if I can't sharpen it sharp to a point, then I'm gonna rage quit with this thing, because I am not lining anything with a blunt pencil. Hey, look, we got it. Okay, now first things first. Let's lighten up the sketch a little bit. Blub, you are the first to get the treatment. So I was thinking as I was lining it, making up more stories for these guys. And I think I've made like a little bit of a backstory for Blub and Gimpy. Like, because Blub is so much younger. Like, I think I might even make him even younger than year 9 normally. Like, maybe he's like, oops, wrong one. He's like 13 to the like 17 going on 18. But he's good friends with Gimpy because Gimpy was his older brother's friend. His older brother died. Dun dun dun! And Gimpy told him before he died that he would always look after his little brother, and that's Blub. And so they hang out all the time because Gimpy promised Blub's bigger brother that he would look after him, and that's what he's doing. So then we've obviously got Pablo, who I don't know, maybe his like dramatic backstory is like because he's a super gay disaster, but his family is like super against that or something, or he thinks that they are. I don't know, he hasn't come out to him, so he doesn't know if they'd accept him, but he feels like they wouldn't, and that makes him feel isolated. I need a much lighter, wider skin tone for a good old Gimpy. He used to be a bit of a jerk jock kind of character. But then when Blub's brother died, he turned it around. I don't know if it was his fault that Blub's brother died, or if it was just the shock of losing such a good friend. I don't know, maybe they were boyfriends or something, or they were in love, but they didn't know yet because they were still young. Realizes now that he lost the love of his life already, and that's why it's so hard for him to admit that he's got feelings for Pablo, because he doesn't want to have these feelings because he feels like he's betraying Blub's brother's memory. Yeah. See? I'm making dramatic stuff happen with my goldfish. Don't judge me, okay? I like drama stories. It's just how I am. Okay? You can't take the drama out of the girl. You can't take the girl out of the drama. And that's why I stay home, folks. And I don't go out. Now this, as I predicted with this pencil, it feels really dirty. It's muddying the colour. But I'm this far into it now, you might as well just continue. So that's what I'm going to do. And so I'm going to grab a good portion of this red to paint Pablo's hair, because Pablo is red. Now I imagine Gimpy is Gimpy Fish's surname, or it's like Gimpranov or something silly, and they shorten it to Gimpy, so everyone calls him Gimpy. Blub is what his brother used to call him. Maybe his name's Robert, and instead of Bob, his brother called him Blub, and that's why everyone, or these guys call him Blub. And then Pablo's name is actually Pablo, because his parents are like rich people who like famous artists named him after the mother's famous artist, Pablo Picasso. That works, right? Yes, Kaci. Yes, it does. So I was doing some thinking while I was waiting for it to dry, and I think that Blob's oversized sweater used to belong to his brother, so that's why he always wears it. It was his brother's sweater. Obviously, it wasn't oversized on his brother, but it's oversized on him. Yeah. Right. Whew, what color should it be? Should it be like an ugly yellow? I kind of like the idea of that. I'm gonna make an ugly yellow. How do you make mustard yellow? Do you like... I'll mix it with this color. I don't even know what that color was. Was it like a little bit of the sienna or something? There we go. It's kind of like a mustardy yellow. Yeah. Blob, you're working it. You get a nice mustard colored jumper. Ugly yellow. Which, funnily enough, is actually one of my favorite colors at the moment. And I don't know why. Because yellow, for the longest time, has been my least favorite color. But lately, I just really like mustard yellow. And I find myself gravitating towards it for everything. Like, I have a cardigan that I wear most days. It's mustard yellow, which I might actually go put on because it's really cold. I have to keep the door shut so I don't wake the baby up. And so the heating can't get into here. And the bedroom is freezing. And it's hard to paint with cold fingers. Yeah, I'm going to go get it. Just finish up painting that. It doesn't look as mustard as I was hoping. Maybe I need to add like a little bit more stuff to it. More mustard. It needs to be more mustardy. There you go, that's better. Right. I'll be back in a moment. I'm going to go get my cardigan. I want black. Now the best way to make black when you don't have it is mixing all the primaries together. That's what I'm going to do. I made grey. It's supposed to make black. Why is it not black? It's grey. I mean, it's not a bad color. It'll do. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Wow. That was weird. It's like a purpley grey. Maybe it needs more yellow in it. Maybe they're different. Maybe some are hot and some are cold colors, and that's why it's not working. But I thought that you just mixed your primaries together and you got yourself a black, but apparently we get purpley grey. If any of you know why it's not working, please tell me. I do not know. It's kind of cool. I can see the color pigments separating in my palette, so I can see like streaks of red and blue and yellow in there. Which, you know, looks cool, but it's probably going to dry really weird on my paper if it's doing it in the palette, you know? Ooh. Oh well. It's too late now. I've already started. So overall, I'm really liking the paints. You know, aside from not having a black. And seemingly not being able to mix one because I'm doing something wrong. It's they're quite nice. And I think black works. Blob is pretty black. And he's actually got like some goldy scales on his chest, so having the mustard yellow jumper actually works. So I totally planned that all along. That was my plan. Yep. Okay, now Gimpy Fish's orange with black splodges, so I might make him ginger because why the hell not, and his jacket will be the black equivalent, I guess, because that's what I've started to do, even though I wasn't going to because these intersect. Oh, I forgot about that. Oh well. Too late now. I'm gonna make Gimpy's shirt red because his favorite color is red, which makes Pablo super flustered when he finds out. It's gonna be like a super gay disaster scene. When and if it ever happens. Who knows? Will I ever do it? We'll never find out. Okay, let's do another attempt at mixing black and red. And we're going to, I forgot to color his eyebrows, hey. Let's do that now. Color his glasses. Frames. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying that I could have done a whole lot better. They're adorable. So yeah, this is Blub, Gimpy, and Pablo, my fish. Let's sign this sucker. So there we have it. Super emo, gay disaster. Our relatively happy-go-lucky jock boy, and our little nerd. What do we think? Yeah, I think they're adorable. Okay, that's that. Thank you so much for watching. I had fun with the scroller box, and I'm gonna insert a little video of my fishies just for you. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, fishies. Please like, comment, subscribe, all those YouTubey things, and I will see you next week. Bye.